I did a video showing how to use the Mantis X10 for your draw speed. I'm going to show you something else that's going to speed up your draw as well. What I like to teach is that there's 4 positions in the draw process. The first point is on the gun itself. The second is pointing to the target from the hip, like a hip fire. So 1, 2, 3 is meeting your support hand and your dominant hand together. I have some videos on that, also linked in the description. Here you're going to start getting your grip. And then the number 4 position is presentation, full presentation. When you first start drawing your pistol, you're going to look very robotic. 1, 2, 3, 4. And notice my finger is still outside the trigger well. When you become a little faster, once you get here to 3, you're going to start taking the slack out of the trigger. Then that way, when you're all the way to out to 4 or full presentation, you're allowing that trigger to be depressed all the way. Robotic movement is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I haven't pressed the trigger all the way, but I'm at the wall. A little bit smoother would look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then place your shot. You're moving to and through those points in the process. You're not stopping at any point to get to 4. So really you just want to pull your gun out and point it to the target. But this hand, your support hand, if you're right-handed, your support hand is your left hand. If you're left-handed, your support hand is your right hand. So this hand has to do something. That something, you need to bring it to your body. I've seen other instructors say, to the chest. I've seen some come all the way here. I've seen some come to the belly. In either case, you want to make sure you're not flagging. You're not putting the barrel so it's pointing at your hand. Whatever you do, you want to have it ready so that your support hand can actually get into that little groove. Again, I have a grip lecture listed below. What typically you're going to see is that you're going to come up and down. Now that's going to create some time that you can shave off, because when you come up and down, you got to come up, down, and come back up so you can clear the firearm from the actual holster. So I'm going to show you guys something to work on. Dry fire first, 100% dry fire first, and then you can go into live fire, right? If I'm ready to go, I'm going to slide up the holster. And as I slide up the holster, I'm going to pull it out and then get to 3 and then continue to present. As I slide up the holster, I have to have my fingers placed exactly right. When you do this fast, you're going to have some bad grips here, bad grips there, and then the more you do it, you're going to figure out how you need to place your fingers exactly every time. If you find yourself not getting that grip, just slow way down and then start working the drill super slow. Otherwise, it should be a smooth motion, straight up, grabbing the firearm into the 3 position and then out. Eventually, it's just going to become natural for you, and you're going to shave off milliseconds, which will turn into seconds during your competition. If I'm here and I come down and then grab the firearm, that creates some seconds, right? So it's going to look something like this. I'm going to do it a little bit robotic on purpose. So pay attention to the firearm, pay attention to my hand. Hopefully you saw that slight pause from going down and coming back up. I'll do it one more time, this time close up. Without coming down and coming back up. I'm just gonna come up, grab the firearm, and then present. So here goes. Your trigger finger, you must have that under control. If not, you'll have one of these and you'll come in here like this, and that's no good. So dry fire, dry fire, dry fire. I cannot emphasize that enough. Do the dry fire drills way more than you do live fire. Make sure this trigger finger is under control as you come up to draw. So now what I'll do is I'll use the Mantis X10 in the app, and I'll draw robotically, like up, down, up, and then I'll draw smooth. So the first shot will be robotic, the second shot will be smooth. Every odd number will be the robotic, and every even number will be the smooth one. And then we'll compare those, and we'll see where we either lost time or gained time, depending on whichever one we're doing. So here we go.
1.6, 1.0, 1.4, 1.0, 1.5, 1.1.
All right, so let's look at the picture on the screen. The green is grip. The blue is your pull. Light blue is your horizontal. The target is the brown. And the red is where you actually shot. And with this X10, you can really analyze and break down these categories within the draw process. Let's look at the green portion first. Grip. My average was 0.28, so 2800ths of a second. The odd ones, remember, the odd numbers were the robotic and the even numbers were the smooth. So the even number were 0.26, 0.26, and 0.25. Pretty consistent, which firearms training is all about consistency, doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over without deviation. So that was pretty consistent for my even ones, and those were the smooth draws. The odd ones, 29, 26, and 33. Not as consistent at all. Whereas the smooth draw, it was more consistent, which is a contributor to why I was able to go a little bit faster on the draw. Let's go to the blue, the pull. Now this is where you're going to gain a lot of speed, is because you're not stopping to grab that firearm. You're grabbing the firearm on the way to position 3 from position 1. Pull on this average was 0.09. The even numbers, which was the smooth ones, remember 2, 4, and 6, was 0.02, 0.0, and 0.03. Again, pretty consistent. And the odd ones, which was the robotic, was 0.14, 0.21, and 0.15. Not very consistent. Even if it were consistent, let's say all three of them was right around 0.14 or 0.15, that's still way more than 0.02, 0.03, and 0.00. So red, average was 0.51. My even numbers were 0.49, 0.35, and 0.31. And then my odd numbers was 0.69, 0.65, and 0.58. So just, I believe, because I'm going to and through each one of those points that I had talked about, 1, 2, 3, and 4, I was getting the shot off quicker because I was able to acquire my sights quicker versus the robotic nature of by the numbers, if that makes sense. So even though I teach by the numbers, I'm not suggesting you stay there. You should go to and through those numbers to get to your point that you're going to fire the firearm in a safe and effective manner. Tack out.